Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, which is a fireside chat on launching the Instructor Module product. Today's presenter is Shashvat Gupta here with us today, who is our product manager here at Exxat. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please add your questions in the questions box. We will be pausing periodically to ensure your questions are answered. If you'd prefer to voice your question, please feel free to raise your hand and we'll go ahead and unmute you. As usual, you can download today's presentation to follow along or keep as a reference, which will be in the handout section. This webinar will be recorded and shared with you along with the presentation via email 1 hour after the webinar ends and will also be made available on our YouTube channel. We're going to give everyone a few more minutes just to let everyone get logged on and get their audio sorted. We'll give it 1 to 2 minutes. We'll be back with you in just a few moments. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started here without further ado. Shashvat, if you're all set, you can take it away.
Sure, thank you. Thank you so much, Roshio, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Like Roshio said, my name is Shashwat, and today I'll be taking you through what Instructor Module is and what Exxat is doing about it, right? So just jumping right into the agenda for today. We are going to talk about why and how instructors do need an interaction with the Prism, right? And like what is the way, like today, how preceptors or instructors are dealing with Prism and how they are interacting with Prism. What are the challenges that we're facing today? And because of which we have created this new product that we have, right? And then we will also talk about the benefits that we are having with this module in place. And then we will be going through a live demo for the product that we've created till now. So this is not like a totally working product. This is still a work in progress, but we still wanted to show this to you and get some feedback from you folks, right? And then, like Roshisha, we'll be taking frequent pauses for questions and answers as well. All right, let's get started with it then. So the first thing, like how are today instructors interacting with Prism, right? And why do they need this interaction? So like you said, like we all know, all of these schools, we are on Prism right now, right? And we do handle our curriculums, placements, learning activities, all of that on Prism, right? So just to get some feedback on these learning activities, we do need our instructors as well to have access to certain documents that students are working on. Most of them are like learning activities, right? So just so that preceptors and instructors, they can review the learning activities, they can review timesheets, they can fill out some surveys regarding how a student is doing and how the progress of a student is going in the placements. They would want some interaction with the system. right? And also I've written some examples over here, like, forms like CIET, PES, PT Max from different domains like PT and PA. They do need some intervention from preceptors and instructors so that the requirements for the curriculum are met, right? And see today, how are they handling it today? As of now, we instructors, they do not have any login in the Prism. All right. What we have is we send out a link via an email through different events that are happening in the system, based upon which they get temporary access to the system. So let's say if a student is filling out an evaluation form, they do mention the email ID or the name of a particular preceptor or an instructor, and they can submit that form to them. And what that does is it sends out an email to these preceptors and instructors so that they can fill out their form as well. So that email contains a particular delegate link using which they can access our system, right? So this is how the flow is. So as of now, school, it creates records for instructors in the system and they add them to a placement. And as and when these students are working on their placements and learning activities, they do add their instructors and tag their instructors on their placements and particular learning activities, right? And then when these students, they are submitting the forms, the instructors, they do get emails, right? And then that email contains a delegate link using which they can have a limited access to the system. So right now, if you think about it, this particular access is only pertinent to one learning activity, one instance of one learning activity for a placement for a student. And then that's the only thing that you can do per delegate link. All right. So like I said, so that is one of the existing challenges that we have, that they have limited access to the system. And the second most big challenge, one of the biggest challenges that we have is the school administrators and the DCs. They have to follow up a lot with these instructors, right? So they have to send out multiple emails to them with these delegate links, right? And so we also have to do something about it, right? Because you folks cannot just keep on going into the system and just looking at what preceptors have not worked on these evaluations and then sending them out manual reminders from the system. Also, once these evaluations or let's say timesheets have been approved and filled out by these instructors, these links are bound to expire, right? So there's a specific time limit to it, and then after that, our users, they won't have access to that particular link, right? And this also is a major request from the preceptors, where they do want to a record of all the forms that they are filling out for students and surveys that they're filling out for students, right? And then again, this boils down to, again, the DCs sending out PDF copies of these forms to these preceptors. All right, and like we talked about it, the links, they only show specific learning activities. So as of now, there is no holistic view for a preceptor on a particular learning activity that a student has, right? So each link would take you to just one evaluation, or let's say one timesheet entry. And again, like I said, instructors, they don't have a consolidated view of multiple students. So let's say if one instructor is working with multiple students at the same point of time in a rotation, as of now, again, like every student is sending them different emails, which turns out to be a huge list in their inbox. They have no consolidated view for all of these learning activities for these multiple students who are going through placements with them, right? So taking all of that into consideration, we thought we should do something about it, and we should work on helping the customers of our customers, which predominantly are instructors, right? So with that in mind, we thought we can create a particular module about it, and then just to start with, we can provide these preceptors and instructors login into our system, a login into Prism, right? Using which they can access all the data that they want to, and they are based upon what schools gives them access to interact on and work on. They should be able to perform their actions within the system without being without the DCs being able to send them offline communications and emails and links and delegate links in the emails about it. So yeah, I mean, those are basically the benefits of having one product in place. That each of these instructors, they have their own logins into the system, and they can create their own profile, right? So that is something new that we are giving as of now. So if you think about the delegate links part of it and the emails part of it, we are not deprecating that functionality. you folks will still be able to do that. But this is an added functionality that we are giving for our preceptors, where they can have an account and they can have a consolidated view about all the learning activities and the placements that the students are having from multiple schools. And in addition to that, we are also giving our preceptors the capability where they can create their own profiles, which can eventually lead to become a central instructor profile where they can upload all of their board certificates, licenses. They can maintain this as their CV, and eventually, whenever they require to, they can share it with any stakeholders that they want, right? And then, like I said, this gives an easy access to the preceptors and instructors for the learning activities for a student placement, without they having to every time, browse their inbox about whether they've got any emails from Exxat to look at. And then again, we are also giving, with this login, we are also giving the capabilities to our users and preceptors, instructors to access all the exact related notifications from the system itself. So we are going to provide a way where you can just look at a list of all the emails that have been sent to the registered email ID by Exxat. So yeah. I'm so sorry. So that's that. Wait a minute. I'm so sorry.
Shashwat, are you having issues with the presentation?
Yes. Just give me a moment. Something happened. I'm trying to get back online. Vishaka, can you give me a cue when you see my screen again?
Yes, we are able to see the presentation.
Perfect. I'm so sorry, folks. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah. So like we were talking about, instructors, they can have a consolidated view to the placements of the students, right? So this acts like an aggregator account. So think about it. If a preceptor has been registered on one email ID with multiple, let's say, sites and locations, and they are mentoring multiple students within the same time period, so they can have just one aggregate account where they can look at all of these placements for different students, and they can look at their learning activities. They can progress all of the student progress on their learning activities from right there, that particular login. So they don't have to again dive into their inboxes and then uh, have the progress tracked by clicking on different emails that they've received, right? And then again, the best thing is these accounts, they don't expire like delegate links. So if school requires them, these preceptors, they can have access to the data for all the learning activities that they have worked on with students for as much time as they want to, right? And see, the bottom line here is we are just trying to make it a lot easier for our instructors to work with Prism. But again, like I said multiple times, schools will get the complete control on what information they want these preceptors to see, right? So nothing is going to happen without the due permissions and due diligence from the school side. So yeah, this brings us to the first question, first poll that we wanted to have with you guys. We just wanted to have a gauge of it. Rosh, do you want to take this, or should I take this?
Yeah, I just went ahead and launched the poll, folks, which will show you the question there. And Shashwat, you can give them a quick background on that question.
Sure. Yeah, so basically, like I was saying, as of today, the whole process is where preceptors, instructors, they do receive emails which have these clickable delegate links through which they do access the system that we have right now in Prism, right? So the poll here says we Exxat right now is still thinking to keep that functionality still going. We are not deprecating this functionality. We'll still keep it, and we'll have this new system as well in system, new module as well in system, from where again preceptors can also access the data. So as of now, they will have both the options. They can either look at the delegate links in the emails, or they can simply log into the system. So what I want to know from you folks is, do you think this is useful and we should keep on going with both of these options? Or do you think we should not be sending out emails anymore now that we have a separate system altogether?
It looks like so far we have 64% of folks who have voted, so make sure to get your votes in on this whole concept of if your clinicians already have a portal that they can log into, should they receive reminder emails about placement notifications or completing a form or an evaluation? Are those helpful to have in addition to their portal, or should they just check their portal for updates within the system? It looks like we have about 82 folks who have responded. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that poll down in just a few seconds. We'll give it about 5 more seconds just in case. And we're going to go ahead and close the poll, and I will share the results with everyone here so you can see. It looks like 78% of you believe that those should still be available. If there is anyone who would like to speak to that or has some comments, feel free to raise your hand. I can unmute you so you can provide any additional feedback. Your feedback makes us develop our product. So always welcome to add on any thoughts.
And I'll just add that we've been using the term instructor, but it's basically a clinical supervisor for placements. So different domains use different terms for it. So whether you're using preceptor or supervisor or instructor,
Clinical instructor, yeah.
This is going to be available for all of your site personnel who help supervise your students and review their learning activities.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and hide those results, and it is back to you, Shashwin.
All right. I hope you all are able to see my screen. Let me go in presentation mode.
Yes.
All right, moving forward. So we just talked about what we want to do and what we have right now. But then what I want to do right now is, show you a working demo of what we have built right now. Okay, so let me just quickly go to the browser.
While Shashwat is pulling it up, we have not launched this yet, and we are sharing this with you. It's a preview, it's a sneak preview to collect early feedback from you before we launch it in our beta version.
All right, I hope you can see the screen that I'm sharing. So this is, as soon as I log in into the system as an instructor in Prism, this is the screen that I see, right? So you'll be able to see multiple tiles over here. You have tiles for profile and then all the schools and locations that you're associated with. You do see all the student placements that are there with you, students whom placements you are tagged on. And like I said, we also see the emails here. So these are the emails that you receive from Exxat. So we are filtering that out specifically for you, right? And this is all the resources and any training material that the Exxat will upload for you folks, so that you can just have reference to it, and you have something to help you go along the way when you are working on this module. And then we have this help section where you can simply go in and raise any concerns that you have, any issues, any problems that you're facing with the system. You can simply just go over here, raise a ticket right from here, and then someone from Exxat will get back to you, right? And then here, if you look at the left, you also have all the announcements that the Exxat would make so that you are up to date with everything, that's coming your way. So as of now, if you look at it, I've just put out an announcement that says we are launching this Instructor Module, and how are we launching it and what does it do, right? So I'm going to quickly hop into the profile part of it. As soon as I click the profile, you can look at here. I have the a profile picture for the person who has logged in. I show you the name of the person along with the email ID. If you update the primary phone number, addresses, and everything else over here, the same is going to populate for you over here in the tile itself, right? So all the basic information you can capture over here, and then you also have a way to add certain documents for yourself. right? So you can add your CVs over here. You can add some applications that you want to. I have already added some of these things over here. So I can simply click on it and I have a sneak peek on what have I uploaded here. This is just like a demo document that I've uploaded for a demonstration purposes. Nothing major here, right? But then if you look at it, if I click on this plus icon, you will be able to see here that you can assign a document title to whatever document that you want to upload, right? So let's say I want to upload an Arizona license over here, Arizona or practice license over here, and I'll click on the document type as license. In description, I'm just gonna type the same thing again. And what I can do is I can click on browse and I can just upload some sample document from my system here itself and I can hit on save, right? And once I do that, you can see that this particular document is visible for you now in the grid itself, right? So this is the common central place that we are giving to our instructors, where they can host all of their documents, they can keep record of all of their necessary documents that are there. They can fill out their details over here. As of now, we've kept it simple, but we want to grow this out, and we would also love your feedback on this, like what are all the other fields that we can add over there, so that this gives you more clarity and visibility over specifics of a particular instructor's profile, right? And very soon, we are also going to give options of sharing a profile over here and then downloading this profile offline so that you can share it out with any stakeholders that you want to. All right, moving forward. So once you've created this profile, what's going to happen is like schools. I'm so sorry. What's going to happen is schools will be adding you to certain locations, right? So that I think you folks are already doing it, right? You just create site personals at certain locations. You tag them to these locations, and then eventually, you host some placements on these locations, and then these preceptors are also tagged on these student placements, right? So whenever that happens, they can simply come here and they can have a look at all the schools that they're associated with at that point of time, right? So here you can see this particular uh, instructor is connected with multiple programs in Arcadia University, multiple programs in Western Kentucky, and then one Johnson University, right? And you'll be able to see the public links of all of these schools that again is internally created in Prism itself. We are also bringing them over here. You'll also be able to see the site name that you are tagged to, and then all the locations that the site is associated with, right? And then if you click on view details, then you'll be able to see more details over here, like the name of the school again, the public link for the school, the site name, and then the in detail location name and addresses that you have been tagged on for that particular site. So this is like a FYI grid for all the instructors to know how many schools have they been working on and working with, right? And then this next grid talks about all the student placements that are there. So these are like individual student placements that they see over here, right? So if you focus at this grid for one point of time, right? We have the school names in the first column, and then in relation to each school, a name of the student and their email ID, the status of their placement, whether it's an ongoing placement, which means it's a current placement, or is it a completed placement, right? And then we also have the names for these placements. And then if you click on view details, you'll be able to know more details on these placements, right? So this is the segue into how they can work on and look at the learning activities, all these evaluations, timesheets that these students have been filling on, right? So if I click on view details, the first page that I land on is like a profile page where you see all the demographic information and summaries of the student. So all the placement related information and the student profile, you do see it over here. So this is the same profile that you see in Prism as of now, right? So we've kept it exactly the same. So the same data can be brought here as well, as and when a student, a particular CI is tagged on a particular student entry and a placement, right? So the tab right next to this is placement details. So once I click on it, all the learning activities that are available for this particular placement of the student will be shown to you over here, right? So as you can see here, there are a bunch of evaluations activated for the student. The student has filled out some timesheet data. They've also asked for some time offs, and then there are no patient logs that they have worked on here right now, right? So also you'll be able to see the statuses of these evaluations along with the names and due dates, right? If you click on one of these, you will be taken to a different tab where you can actually open this evaluations. Now this is still work in progress. We are still working on it, but this is how far we have been as of now. We are still working on creating the whole interface for having your form information here as well integrated right now, right? But then this is how the page will open up, and then you will be actually able to see all the information for that form over here, right? And then the same goes for patient logs and timesheets as well. You can simply click on view details, and then here you'll be able to see the timesheet grid, like you see, like you see in a delegate link, right? And then you'll be able to approve these hours for these students. Yeah. So this is one of the basic things that would really help preceptors with this login, that they can see a consolidated view of all the learning activities that a student has, and if they are tagged on it, they can simply work on these learning activities from here itself. And then again, if they're working with multiple students, they can see all of these students over here, and they can choose to act on the learning activities for the student. So very soon we're also bringing out functionality where you'll have a column over here that tells you that if there is any pending action with you that you would want to take on them, so that you don't have to browse through each and every student placement uh, to see whether you want to work on, you do want to complete some pending tasks or not. So yeah, that was pretty much about the placements. Now, like I said, we also are consolidating emails over here that are sent to you or instructors rather by Exxat, by these students filling out evaluations or timesheets or patient logs or applying time offs, all of that. So simply you can come here and like exactly how you see it in the inbox, you can see it over here as well. You can see the links as well. You can click on these delegate links and you will be taken to a different delegate link. And from here you can act on these evaluations as well. But then, like I said, we were still working on these pages, but then just to show you, right? Yeah. So again, here also we are very soon bringing out functionality where you will be able to mark these emails read, unread, and mark them as important, star them out, all of that. And yeah. So the next one is again exact resources. So here also we have taken inspiration from the resources page in the Prism, right? So this looks exactly like it. So here, instead of schools going in and adding resources for students to look at and get help from, these basically will be uploaded by internal Exxat product managers, or let's say employees, so to help the preceptor and the user with the onboarding process, and with the FAQs, with the know-hows of the system and where they can do what, like the whole workflows about how they can approve patient logs and timesheets and evaluations from this particular login that they have. Yeah, so as you can see here, I've uploaded a training video right now over here, and like a link to one of these webinars, which was regarding CIT tool overview and adoption considerations. Yeah, so as a user, you can simply come here, click on that link, and then you can access all the resources that are available for you. Right, and like I said, this again is like exactly similar to how we have help section in Prism right now. You can put up a text over here. You can write your subjects, ask some questions, browse the documents that you want to. Hit on submit, and a ticket will be generated at our end. And once you do this, you will be able to see all of these entries for the tickets here as well. Nothing has changed here. This functionality is absolutely similar to how we have this in Prism.
Shashwat, I'm going to piggyback on your resources explanation and make our audience aware that for preceptors or instructors, it's important for them to be able to access their school provided resources that will help them. Maybe it's a clinical handbook, maybe it's attendance policy, dress code policy for the students that they want to share with the supervisors. And all of that can be accessed via the site resource page for each program that you are also sharing with these instructors and preceptors, correct? So could you quickly navigate to the dashboard and the school grid, associated school and location? The school public link is the site resource page today that you get to access, where the program uploads all the resources that it wants to share with you. And by clicking on each one of these, you can get those school shared resources.
Yeah. So this was pretty much it about the walkthrough. Rocio, do you want to take questions right now, or should we go to the next poll?
We actually don't have any questions. However, I do have a question for you, Shashvat. I love that, we have this portal that allows our clinicians or the clinicians to go into the system, complete their profiles, see student learning activities. But at least from my perspective, one big question I have for you is how are we as a team building anything to help manage them? Help them manage any slot requests for slot availabilities that they receive? Is there going to be a section that allows them to easily manage all of the requests that come in from different programs?
So Rocio, to begin with, in the MVP or in the initial launch, this is going to be mainly for the instructors and preceptors, and we are currently building something that the site personnel and the site staff can use to manage availability and provide slots. So we are thinking about it, and we are going to build it, and there might be a sneak peek for that also pretty soon.
Gotcha. So this is mainly focused on just that
On
clinician
reviewing
portion.
learning activities for the clinical supervisors, yes.
Okay, wonderful. I do have a question here from Donna. I think that was on the same topic. Will SCCEs use this module as well? Is a question she had.
No, I don't think SECs will use this module. They'll keep on using the already Prism the Prism login that they already have. So this is again predominantly for preceptors and instructors that work on sites and that are mentoring students while they are working in these sites on their placements.
Gotcha. Thanks, Hashbin.
All right, let's go to the poll then. So this is
All
our
right.
poll number 2.
Let me go ahead and launch that poll for you guys. And Joshua, if you want to give them a bit of a background on that question.
Sure. Yeah, so like I said, so we had this presentation and we showed you walk around of how this is working out and what are the benefits of having this specific login that a CI has. And the question that we have for you is, do you think this is a positive step towards enhancing the experience of a particular instructor with Prism? And or do you think you can just keep on using delegate links and you can keep on sending out delegate links, and then these instructors, they're good with it, they're liking what is right there right now with the system?
All right, and it looks like we have 64, now 73 of folks who have gone ahead and voted. I'll give it just a few more seconds here to see if we can get any higher. I'll give it about 20 more seconds. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and close the poll here and share the results with everyone. And it looks like the majority of you do believe that creating this portal will enhance the experience for clinicians. All right, back to you, Shashwat.
All right, thank you. Let me just go ahead. All right, we have another poll for you again. So this is the last one, I swear. So this basically is about, do you think it's a good feature that we have provided where, you know, these preceptors and instructors, they can create their own profile and they can uh, add their own documents, they can upload their own documents, both certificates, licenses, CVs, whatever they want to over here. So basically what we're trying to do is create a digital folder or a, let's say, like a OneDrive for them so that they can just store all of their work-related professional documents in our system securely. Do you think this is a good initiative to build on, or do you think uh, this, it's not required as of yet?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll for you folks. And you can go ahead and put your votes in. All right, we'll give it about 20 more seconds here, and then we'll go ahead and close the poll shortly.
And of course, adding on to this, the real value out of this is going to be that once the preceptors or CIs put in the time to populate their profile details and their documents, the school side users should be able to share it with any stakeholders that they want to. And the school side users should be able to easily integrate it, review it, so that they don't have to re-enter all that for their preceptors or CIs. Of course, those would be additional functionalities that will slowly evolve in the product. They won't be available on day one, but that's the direction that Shashwat is taking this to.
Yep, that's perfect. That's right for Shakra. So that was it from my end. We did talk about all that we wanted to. We did give you a peek through on what we are trying to build on and what we're trying to do. But then again, we'll just open the mic for anyone. If they have any questions, they can put it on comments, raise your hands, Rochelle, like whatever you want, just take it from here.
Yeah, so folks, if you have any thoughts on the clinician module, preceptor module. I think it's still a work in progress on the term that we will officially use once the module launches, but you guys get the gist. It's meant for those supervising your students. So if you do have any feedback, comments, concerns, if you love it, if you want to talk about it, this is the time for you guys to go ahead and just raise your hands if you'd like to go ahead and speak to it. If maybe there is a feature that you wish was there that you did not see in that preview, this is also a great time for you guys to share that with us. So we'll give you guys a few moments here to either put that comment, question, or concern, or just feedback in the questions box. It's a multi-use. And of course, if you'd like to speak on it, just go ahead and raise your hand and we'll go ahead and unmute you. I do have a question here from Janet. Would the school have access to the preceptor module information, or is it just for the preceptor or clinical instructor?
Shashwat, do you want to take that question?
Sure. Yeah. So this is just for the preceptor module. and the CIs and instructors have access to it. See, you already have access to this data from your school perspective. So what we are doing is we are just exposing majorly, if you think about it, the learning activity data to the preceptors so that they can act on, right? So there's nothing extra that you don't have access to right now that you would want access to, except the profile that this particular preceptor has, right? And then, like I said, we're also building in a feature where they can share this with any stakeholder that preceptors would want to. So you can explicitly ask them for their profiles, and they should be able to send it to you.
And those would be built incrementally. I think that's what this question is hinting at, that if a preceptor populates the profile information with all their documents, will the school user be able to benefit from that and get it integrated into their database, their site personal database, rather than manually re-entering it? And that's something that would be built upon in later phases, correct, Shashwat?
Yes, we will be working towards it based on the feedback that we have.
All right, we have another question here from Lauren. I might have missed this, but the learning activities are only under the email tab on the main dashboard, or will there be a tab titled learning activities?
We do have a tab for learning activities as well. Let me just show you that. I'll just show that to you again. Just give me a moment. I hope you're able to see the screen, the web browser that I'm working on.
Yes, we are.
All right. So if you look at the student placements, so this is the tab that you would want to go at, or rather the tile that you would want to go at. So you can explicitly see here that we have 6 active placements for the students that are there. Actually, this is just one, but then yeah, you can click on the view details on this grid. So this grid would tell you name of all the students that have placements with this particular preceptor that is logged in, or instructor that is logged in, right? If you click on the view details over here, and you go to the placement details, this is where you see all of the learning activities for a student organized, right? So you can look at the forms evaluations, you can look at the timesheets, time off, patient logs, everything that is there available for the student named John Walker for this particular placement.
So Shashwat, I think it's a good suggestion to take that feedback. Perhaps renaming this tab from placement details to learning activities would make it more explicit and
Absolutely.
clear. That's what we are
Yes.
showing, right?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you for that feedback, Lauren. Any other questions, comments?
Doesn't look like we have any other questions or comments here.
If any one of you are clinical supervisors and would like to try out the beta version or collaborate with us in evolving this, please feel free to give us your contact email so that whenever Shashwat is looking for more feedback, maybe the product team can get in touch with you and ask if you would like to try it out as a beta customer or give us more feedback on it.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap up our webinar here. If Shashwat, if you don't have any additional content to cover, and if folks don't have any additional comments or questions, so that brings us to the end of this webinar. If you have a few minutes, we'd love to hear from you. Stick around once this webinar ends for a short survey to let us know how we're doing, what can be improved, and any additional topics you'd like to see in the future. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, Roshio. Thank you, Vishakha. All right, I'll see you guys. Have a good day.